Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a very exciting video. We're going to be talking about my spring/summer recommendations. I'm trying to give spring vibes with all the flowers in my hair and the blue. My earrings are blue, so I hope I matched the brief enough. I just thought I'd whip some stuff in my hair to make myself look a bit more springy. So what we're going to do is, firstly, I'm going to go through ones that I have read and would recommend for the spring/summer season. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through ones that are on my spring/summer TBR and tell you a bit about them as well, or what I know about them. So I hope you get some good recs from this video. A lot of them you probably have read, but I just think they're perfect for the season that we're currently in and that we're transitioning into. So we're going to start off strong. I have them all in piles, so I'm going to do series, which you can obviously see here. I'm going to do series and then I'm going to do some standalone ones that I think are great for the spring/summer season. So we're going to start off with Miss Queen Elsie Silver. I have all three of her series here. I don't have them in order, which is actually after annoying me, of release. I have the Chestnut Springs in order and I have them in order of where they are in the series, but not where they are in release. But the first one is Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. This is her first series. This is the Gold Rush Ranch series. All of these are interconnected standalones. All of them connect in some way. So one of the Eaton sister, Violet, plays a role in this series. So this is why it's connected to the Chestnut Springs. It is absolutely brilliant. I do think, though, you can see the graduation from her writing from Off to the Races to Chestnut Springs, because Chestnut Springs, guys, is literally one of my ride or die series. I don't particularly love the first one. So in the first one, we're following Rhett and Summer, and that kind of is the introduction to the series. And she is a lawyer, and she's basically becomes his babysitter for the summer. I think it's the summer. But she becomes his babysitter basically because her dad is the head of the firm and sends her to be the one that basically makes sure Rhett stays in line. So it's a great introduction to the series, but overall, I think it's widely not known as the favourite. It's very much an introduction. I did enjoy it, but it isn't my favourite in the series. The next two are. The next one we have Cade and Willa. Willa is Summer's best friend and Cade is Rhett's older brother. He is a single dad, and it's single dad nanny trope. He needs help as a single dad because the mother that, I think Luke is the name of the son, isn't very present. So he hires Willa as a nanny to help him out while he is doing all the work on the farm. And they live in the same house and it unfolds through that. Then we move on to Powerless. Powerless is childhood best friends to lovers. He is so down bad for her and always has been. It starts off with her being engaged to someone else who is a bit of a beep. We'll put a beep there, but he is not the best. He's not great. And she decides on her wedding day that she can't be with him. And who else does she run off with but Jasper? So Jasper is her childhood best friend. And Sloane is the girl he's been pining after. I think she is a cousin to them, I want to say. I think she's a cousin to the Eatons. And that's how Jasper knows her. And Jasper is like the adopted brother who's not actually the brother. So he's kind of like... What's the name of the main character in Done and Dusted? Done and Dusted is quite similar with the two. The FMC is the sister and the MMC is like an adopted brother who's not really the brother, but they've brought him into the fold of the family. So that's what Jasper is to that. And this is my favourite in the whole series. Jasper does not get enough love, I don't think. He's not a cowboy. I know this is technically a cowboy romance series, but he is a hockey player. But because of his whole introduction into the Eaton family, he's classed as one of the cowboy brothers, but it is brilliant. I absolutely love it. Then we move on to a fan favourite that everyone loves as much as Heartless, which is Reckless. In Reckless, we follow Theo and we follow Winter. Winter is Summer's stepsister from the first book, and Theo is kind of Rhett's protege, I want to say. He's also a bull rider like Rhett, and he's amazing. It is an accidental pregnancy, and Yeah, no, it's not. It's alright. I was about to say it is a spoiler, but it's not, because I was reading, the back. That's why I took such a break, because I didn't want to ruin it in case no one has read it. But it is an accidental pregnancy. It's a one-night stand. They can't help but hate each other, but they love each other. And it is really, really good. And Winter is a very, very complex character. She's kind of the Nesta of the real world, I would say. Like, she is a very hard character. There's a lot to her underneath, but she really is a softie, and loved it. I absolutely loved it. Theo is one of the best fathers I've ever seen in a book. And then lastly was everyone's most anticipated book, which is Bo Eaton. Bo is I think he's the middle brother. He's the middle brother in the series. So we have Kate as the eldest, then we've Bo, and then Rhett. So Bo everyone loves him. He went off to war. He was in the army. He has all this trauma. And then we have Bailey, who is younger than him and has a reputation in the town because of who her family is. Her family are quite rough, and she has this reputation, or she feels she has this reputation because of who her brothers and her siblings are. So her and Bo decide to have a fake marriage and a fake engagement to see if she had a different name, would people treat her differently, or is she actually just projecting that and people actually love her as a person. And then they end up falling really in love, and it's brilliant. I love it. It was a great conclusion to the series, and I love the epilogue in the series because you get to see everyone together. You get to see the whole family and what we've built up from the last 5 books and like where they all are now. It's brilliant. Chestnut Springs is amazing. I could go on about it forever. Then her most recent series, which is the Rose Hill Ranch series. So we have Wild Love, which is the first one. I think people are confused. Like, I heard someone say that this is advertised as a cowboy romance. There is cowboys in the series, but it's generally just a small town type of book. But I think because Chestnut Springs and Off the Races are so cowboy and ranch heavy, that I think people think the same with this. They do live on a ranch, in fairness, but Ford Grant and Rosie Belmont, or Beaumont? It's either Rosie Belmont or Beaumont. I don't want to be wrong, but it doesn't say her surname on the back. But Belmont, yes. So it follows Rosie and Ford. Ford is Willa's brother, and we meet Ford in Heartless, and then he makes Rose Hill Records in the small town, and Rosie comes back after being gone for a while, and he hires her as an employee, and then all the revelations from when they were teenagers start to come out. That's all I'll give you. It's childhood friends to lovers. There is a bit of miscommunication between them, I will not lie, but this whole series is single dad series. I think Elsie Silver saw that we all loved Kate Eaton and Theo Silva and was like, she's dedicated this whole series to single dads, but it's not your typical way of how they become dads. It's not just your typical standards that they have had a past relationship and became a dad through that. There is very different ones that come through the series, which I've noticed, which I think is brilliant to show a depiction that like that's not just the only way you can become a dad. So this is Wild Love, and then we move into Wild Eyes. Wild Eyes follows West Belmont. I keep getting confused with Belmont. Weston Belmont is the sister. He's not a sister. He is a brother to Rosie in the first book. And Skylar is a celebrity who wants to go to find Ford Grant to make her own music for the first time, because she feels like she's been controlled her whole life and she just wants to escape. So she escapes to Rose Hill, and the way they meet is hilarious. I don't think it says it at the back. It's obviously not going to, but the way they meet is absolutely hilarious. And then we've the third one, which I haven't read yet. It is on my TBR for spring. It's called Wild Side, where we follow a professional wrestler and a sister of... He's a landlord also, and he's the landlord of this person's sister. And it unfolds, and he ends up becoming a father throughout the series. I don't want to spoil too much because I don't know what's actually out there, and Wildcard is a relatively new release. Side. It came out only in March, But we do have the 4th one in the series coming out this year, which is in September. I want to say September 9th, but I could be wrong. Which is Wildcard. So you need to catch up on all this to go to that. Next is Paisley Hope. Again, another small town cowboy romance. We have Holding the Reins, which follows Cece and Nash. Nash is like the Jasper. He is like... He's not. It's like, did I read the series at all? Nash is one of the brothers. But he is an NFL player. He's an NFL hockey player. Cece... Yeah, I'm right. I knew I was right. Sorry. Cut that. Cece is the younger sister and Nash is friends of her brothers. They meet, she comes back and it all unfolds. And then Training the Heart follows her older brother Wade Ashby and Ivy. Ivy is a trainer that comes to train a horse on the ranch and again ends up in love. And it's age gap as well. He is older than her. But I really enjoyed that. And I just finished writing The High last night, which is the 3rd book in this series. I don't know if it's Laurel Creek or if it's Silver Pines, because I know the ranch is called Silver Pines, but the town that they live in is Laurel Creek. So I'm assuming it's Laurel Creek. But I finished writing The High last night, which is Cole Ashby's book, and it is my favourite in the series so far. It follows Ginger and Cole, which are... Cole is the... I don't think he's the eldest brother, I think he's the middle. And Cece's best friend, Ginger. And very similar to... I'm trying to think of a series that it's quite similar. Basically, everyone knows they've loved each other for years. Everyone has known, it's widely known. They know it themselves kinda as well, but they're afraid to take that step. He's become the sheriff in Laurel Creek and needs someone to help babysit his daughter, Mabel, because he's a single dad and the mother is quite not present. You see snippets of her and she is the worst, the absolute worst. And she's the nanny for the summer and revelations start to come when they're living together. It reminds me of Cade and Willa a bit, except Cade and Willa only are introduced to each other through Summer and Rhett, whereas you have that emotional connection with Cole and Ginger that they've just been friends for years, but they've always been fighting this kind of tension between them and they've always wanted more but have been afraid to go for more because it would ruin the friendship, it would ruin the family dynamic that they have going on and everything. But it's my favourite in the series so far, and I do think Paisley Hope has announced the 4th book in the series. I'm not sure what the name of that is, but if I'll look it up and I'll pop it up here in the corner. She has announced that the 4th one is coming out this year or the early start of next year. And then last, certainly not least, is my series / kind of standalones in series. I only have these 2 out, so this is why I picked these 2. Because they were the only ones that I could find, which is the Eden series. So we have Indigo Ridge, Juniper Hill, Garnet Flats, Jasper Vale, Crimson River, and Sable Peak. That was brilliant out of me. I got them all in one go. So these are Sable Peak and Jasper Vale. These are 2 in the series. Sable Peak is the finale to the series and it follows the last brother. And then this book is Eloise's book and Jasper. And I think it's the 4th book in the series. It is, yeah. It's the 4th book in the series because we're introduced to Jasper in Garnet Flats. This book is just... these series are just everything you need. They're small town, cowboy, romance books. And they are perfect. Particularly Indigo Ridge and Crimson River. There's a crime element to them. I think it's very well done in the 1st book. And then in Crimson River, it's quite interesting because it also follows into the events that happen in Sable Peak. So I would advise reading Indigo Ridge. I absolutely love it. That series was my personality for a long time. And I highly recommend it. Devney Perry is brilliant at doing small town romances. So it moves on to another Devney Perry, which is Sunlight. This is the 2nd book in the Haven River Ranch series. I way preferred this one to the 1st one. And I need the 3rd one right now. But this follows Jax and Sasha. There's an accidental pregnancy. There is just, it's one night stand, but he becomes enamored with her and he loves her so much. The first book in the series was okay. They were childhood friends to lovers, but there was a lot of miscommunication between the two characters and a lot of stubbornness that annoyed me. But in this one, it was just a happy, fun time, and I really, really enjoyed it. Now, don't get me wrong, they do deal with more complex issues throughout it, but it was just a lovely escape. I read it in one sitting, and Devney Perry can do no wrong with small-time romances in my eyes. Then we have the Blue Rebel Ranch series. I just grabbed this one because it was the first one I could find, and I also have the other two, the two latest ones in the series on my spring TBR. So I've read Done and Dusted and Swift and Saddled. I need to read Lost and Lassoed and Wild and Wrangled. This is, again, just quick, easy read, like no attention span, so much fun, and you just love the characters. Done and Dusted was good. I really liked Swift and Saddled. I'm so excited for Lost and Lassoed, but I will talk about Lost and Lassoed and Wild and Wrangled a bit more in a minute when we get down to my spring TBR. And then we have Wildfire, which is the second book in the Maple Hill series. Particularly this one because it's set at a summer camp, and it's a very unique setting. I don't think we rarely see books in those settings. So I would personally recommend Wildfire. It follows Russ and Aurora. It is very complex. They are complex characters dealing with very serious issues. And it's not just a happy, fun time. There is an emotional aspect to it, I would say. But just the whole vibes of the summer camp. There's dogs, and I love it. I absolutely love Wildfire. It's a 5-star read for me. I highly, highly recommend it for particularly this season because of where it's set. Now we're moving along to our standalones. So we have Happy Place by Emily Henry. Wasn't my favourite book by Emily Henry, but I would still recommend it. Look at it for the summer season. Like, perfect. This follows Win and Harriet. Harriet and Win they're in a group of 6 friends that have always went away on trips together. I want to say they go every year. Yeah, they take a holiday every year. But Harriet and Win have split up since the last trip, and none of them are aware of it. So it's that dynamic is Harriet doesn't expect Win to be there because they decided that Harriet would go and Win wouldn't. But Win shows up and it unfolds. It's really, really good. I feel like I did read it at the wrong time. I feel like I should have read it during the summertime, and I think I would have loved it as much as everybody else. But Happy Place, Beach Read, and People We Meet on Vacation are the 3 books I would recommend of Emily Henry's that you should read during the summer months. Then we go on to Daisy Jones and the Six. I feel like you can read this in any season, but it just gives summer vibes to me, or spring vibes. I don't know why. It's set in the 70s/80s in America, and I just think that screams summer and spring to me. The way that it is told is an interview style, so you get the point of view of all the characters, so it's all done through the interview, and the way it's laid out is brilliant, and you're getting everyone's perspectives. It is one of the most heartbreaking books I've ever read, and the series is heartbreaking also. I would recommend reading it before watching the series, but also it is one of the most closest book to TV adaptations I've ever seen done. They handled it brilliantly. This follows Daisy and the Six. I don't know why it's called Daisy Jones and the Six, because there's 6 people including her. I don't know, is it technically Camilla, who's with Billy, we're classing as a 6th member, because she really spearheaded their career. She really believed in them. Daisy and Billy are the 2 main singers in the band, and it just shows the trials and tribulations of how much they love each other, but they know they're not good for each other and they can never be together. You just need to read it. I'll never stop recommending it. Next, we have The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I actually only finished this about a week ago. It just gives the vibes. The cover gives the summer and spring vibes, and it's actually kind of matching me today, but I would highly recommend it. There is a paranormal aspect to it, so if you don't like that, you may not like it. But personally, as someone who doesn't like the paranormal aspect, I found this to be very intriguing. And I gave it 4 stars, I want to say. And then last, but certainly not least, is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. This book means so much to me. I absolutely loved it. It is only out since the 1st of April, so it is a relatively new release, but we're following Samantha and Xavier, I want to say. Yes. And they meet, they have one crazy, incredible date, and she's moving across the country the following day or the following week or something like that to help at home with stuff going on in her family life. And it just shows them trying to make a long distance relationship work. It deals with the topic of grief quite a lot, so I would say look up trigger warnings before going into it. But I personally enjoyed it, and it just gives the vibes of summer/spring. So they're all the books that I would recommend to read if you haven't read them already for the summer/spring. But we're going to go into my books in the next part of what I have on my spring/summer TBR. We are back for my spring/summer TBR, and it is a hefty one, I will not lie. But we're going to go through it. Let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books and which ones I need to read immediately and which books I should hold off for the summer. But these are just the ones I want to get to in the next, from May to August. These are the books that I would really, really like to get through. So I have A Funny Story by Emily Henry. This follows Daphne and Miles, and I know they are both left by their partners that end up with each other, and they end up moving in together to kind of like put out this persona that they're doing really, really great, and they're together as well. That's all I know. That's all I'm going to say. I know there's a lot of controversy over this dude wearing Crocs at a bar, but I would love to see how Crocs are so relevant in the story, so that's why I'm excited for it. But if I've heard this is some people's favourite Emily Henry book and least favourite Emily Henry book, which, look, reading is so subjective, that's going to happen. But I do need to get to this because Emily Henry has a new release, and I normally just keep the books in advance of the release. So I need to read this now because Great Big Beautiful Life has come out, and look at the cover, guys. It's just giving summer/spring. Next, we have Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch, which I've know absolutely nothing about, so I'm just going to read the synopsis out there quickly. It says, Lena is spending the summer in Tuscany, fulfilling her mother's dying wish that she should get to know her father. With the help of her mother's journal, Lena uncovers a magical world of secret romance, art, and hidden bakeries. People come to Italy for love and gelato, someone tells her, but sometimes they discover much more. I'm sorry, this sounds so cute. Yeah, so that is what this is about. I'm very, very excited to get to this. It will probably be one that I will stick with for the summer because it literally says she's spending the summer in Tuscany in Italy, and reading that in the summer will just give the most immaculate vibes. The next one, again, another one that I would probably keep for the summer. It's called The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walter. I know absolutely nothing, so again, I'm just going to read the synopsis out about this. It's all fun and games until someone loses their heart. When Meredith Fox lost her sister Claire 18 months ago, she shut everyone out, but this summer she's determined to join the world again. The annual family vacation to Martha's Vineyard seems like the perfect place to reconnect. Her extended family is gathering for a big summer wedding, and although Meredith is dateless after being unexpectedly dumped, she's excited to participate in the traditional family Fox game of Assassin that will take place during the week of the wedding festivities. Claire also loves the game, and Meredith is determined to honour her legacy. But when Meredith forms an alliance with a cute groomsman, she finds herself getting distracted. Meredith tries to focus on the game and win it for her sister, but she can't help but falling for him. And as the week progresses, she realises she's not only at risk of losing the game, but also her heart. I am so sorry, but I'm really excited for this now after just reading synopsis. But again, summer vibes, immaculate. It's set during the summer, a summer wedding. What more could you want? The next one is Love Me Do by Lindsay Kelk. Again, know nothing about it, but the vibes just give summer. So it says, greeting card copywriter Phoebe Chapman knows a good romantic line or two, and it makes her a fantastic Cupid. So when she lands in the Hollywood Hills, a place that proves film stars, golden beaches, and secret waterfalls don't just exist in movies, she can't resist playing matchmaker for her handsome neighbour, Carpenter Wren. But you can't hide from love in La La Land, and is there something a little bit hot about Wren, her own leading man next door? Again, perfect. And then last, this is actually on my TBR for this month, and I hope to read it this month, but again, I'm putting it in here in case I actually don't get to it. This is called Ready or Not by Cara Bastone. So I know that this is about an accidental pregnancy after a one-night stand, and I think it shows the book is based on going through the pregnancy, and it's ready or not. Sometimes you're ready and sometimes you're not to have a child. So again, perfect spring/summer vibes. I feel like all of Cara Bastone's releases have that element of spring/summer to them. Like, they have, their covers are beautiful. Next, we're going to go on to the last two in the Blue Rebel Ranch series, which is Lost and Lassoed and Wide and Wrangled. So Lost and Lassoed, we follow Ted? I'm very bad with the names today, guys. Teddy and Gus. And Teddy and Gus are your typical two characters who hate each other but love each other. You see them, snippets for them throughout the whole series, and I'm just so excited to read it. I'm so excited to read this. I'm not sure if is it Teddy is the single dad? Is it Gus is the single dad? Or is it the second one in the series? I don't think he is. Yes, he is. He is a single dad. Gus is a single dad. But yeah, gives me very much vibes of Riding the High from Paisley Hope. Really excited for this one. This is actually my most anticipated one in the whole series, and I think it is a lot of other people's most anticipated one. And then we've Wild and Wrangled, which is my next anticipated one in the series, because this follows Cam and Dusty. Cam and Dusty were together in the past and they broke up, and Dusty has just come back to Blue Rebel Ranch, and I don't know anything else other than that. The reason I got confused, I don't know why. So Gus and Camille used to be together and they have their child together, but they're not together anymore. And she has history with Dusty. That's all I'm going to say. But I'm really, really excited for it. Next is Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. Know nothing about this. It says, although she is a professional organiser, Ali Morris's life is a mess. Her mother died 2 years ago and then her husband left her. Now she spends her days trying to keep her children's lives together while making sure she doesn't fall apart. So no one is surprised that when Ali, for the first time she takes off her wedding ring and stops wearing sweatpants, that she meets someone. Or rather, her dog claims a man for her in the same way he claimed his favourite of her 3 children, by peeing on him. Somehow Ethan smiles at Ali like he likes what he sees and everything feels. So we have Summer Romance. I'm really, really excited to get to this. Again, probably will be one that I will keep for the summer. But Annabelle Monaghan's books seem to be quite a light spring/summer read. I'll insert some pictures of her other releases that people have said give that kind of vibes as well. And I want to get to all her books, basically. Next is The Wake Up Call. I don't know anything about this, but again, just being bright and pink, giving summer spring. Next is Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. She's a wedding planner and he's a florist, I want to say. And he is her ex, is what I'm reading from the back here. He's her ex. He broke up with her 2 years ago and they haven't spoken since. And they're both involved in this wedding. But again, summer, spring, look at all the flowers. It's just beautiful. Next we have Vacation Wars by Megan Quinn, which obviously I'm going to read in the summer. It says, falling in love is no vacation. Prepared for a good time, Tessa is thrilled to spend the weeks before her sister's wedding at their family's favourite vacation spot, Santorini. Sandy beaches, stony washed houses, attractive men, it's heaven. But Tessa's idea of a girls' trip comes to a screaming halt when her sister thinks it's high time Tessa finds some love herself. Unfortunately, Tessa forgot about the deal she made back in high school. She has to find her soulmate before her sister's wedding or else. As she dodges suitors and her sister's pranks, Tessa finds an ally in the oh-so-dreamy Miles, her childhood crush who just so happens to work at the resort. But Miles is dealing with some family conflict of his own. He's elated at being reunited with Tessa, but his father's refusal to acknowledge his interest in the family business and relegating him to only grunt work casts a dark cloud. As Tessa and Miles have navigated their way through their family's antics, they begin to realise that their past feelings may have a future, if only they can turn their island fantasies into something real. Not gonna lie, it gives me Mamma Mia vibes without there being 3 men. But again, stunning cover, giving me summer/spring vibes. So we'll be reading it during those months. Next is Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. Again, I don't necessarily think this book gives in the essence of the story. It's not like set in summer or spring or anything, but I just think the cover gives summer/spring vibes, and I actually am reading this for a video. It's one of my friend's picks for me to read. 1 of her 5 stars, so I will be reading that at some point. And then we have the last pile, which is probably the most exciting pile because it's all my anticipated releases, besides 2 that have been out for a bit longer, but they're also really anticipated reads for me. Wildside by Elsie Silver is the 3rd book in the Rosehill Ranch series. We follow Reese and Tabitha, which I kind of hinted at a while ago when I was talking about all Elsie Silver's books. So this follows Reese, who's the professional WWE or professional wrestler, whatever you want to call it, and Tabitha is the sister who lived in Reese's apartment. He was her landlord, and the sister has a son, and she ends up becoming the guardian of the son, of her sister's son, and it unfolds from there. I'm really excited for this one. Next is a novel love story by Ashley Poston. I have no clue what this book is about, but it's beautiful. I think this one is about she's traveling somewhere and she's thinking about like how great it would be to be in her fictional world, and she ends up in that fictional world. But again, it's always like a paranormal aspect with Ashley Poston's books, but it's done in a very, very different way than normal. Really, really excited to get to this one. Next is Betting on You by Lynn Painter. Again, I know absolutely nothing about this, but the cover just gives the most immaculate vibes. Then we have The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. This follows Georgia and Sam, I want to say. I've no clue what this is about. I am going to read the synopsis out for you because I just think everyone needs to read Jessa Hastings' books. It says London-based Georgia Carter has long been estranged from her wealthy conservative South Carolina family until she gets the text, "Dad's dead." As Georgia returns for the funeral, she's reunited with her favourite brother Oliver and meets his AA sponsor Sam. Georgia and Sam are instantly drawn together, but Georgia can't help noticing how her brother looks at Sam, and the last thing she wants to do is to hurt her only real family. Tensions rise when their father will reveal an inheritance to a mysterious stranger to find out who, most importantly why, Georgia, Oliver and Sam set off on a road trip to uncover the truth about their father's life. As secrets both old and new threaten to push the Carters beyond breaking point, there are only so many cracks a damaged family can take before it shatters. This is Jessa Hastings' first standalone, which I think is really interesting, and her best friend Emmy did the cover for this book, and Emmy's covers are always stunning, but this is a book that I need to get to sooner rather than later because I feel like I'll push it off because I don't want to not have a book by Jessa Hastings. Then we have Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. This follows two authors who are looking at the opportunity to ghostwrite this person's book. So it says, when Margaret Wise, the famously reclusive heiress, invites Alice to the balmy little crescent island, Alice knows that this is it, her big break. The catch: Pulitzer Prize winning human thundercloud Hayden is sure of the same thing. The proposal: a trial period to unearth the truth behind one of the most scandalous families of the 20th century, after which Margaret will choose who'll tell her story. The problem: Margaret is only giving each of them tantalising pieces that they cannot put together because of an ironclad NDA and an inconvenient yearning pulsing between them every time they're in the same room. And it's becoming abundantly clear that their story, just like Margaret's tale, could be a mystery, tragedy or love ballad depending on who's telling it. And again, it just gives the most immaculate summer/spring vibes. But they're all the ones that are on my spring/summer TBR. If there's any books that you think I need to read in the spring/summer season, then do comment below. If you've read any of these, let me know your opinions, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much.